I want to talk about what it looks like to have a remarkable business. What that looks like, and this is coming straight from my favorite book of the week, Purple Cow. As you can tell from my background, I am a consummate reader. I am a bibliophile. I believe that leaders are readers. And if you are watching this as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, then you can never be reading too much. That's just my take on it. This book is not big. It's about 200 pages. And it really took me, honestly, it took me about 2 months to read it, because as I was reading, I would get ideas from the content, and then I wanted to go implement those ideas. So I had to stop and go put these things in practice for my own business, and then come back to continue to read, right? So I finally finished the book, and now I'm here to talk about it. Because I believe this is a game changer in the life of a small business, in the life of an entrepreneur, brand owner, those of us that are doing the work, maybe mostly by ourselves or with a small team. Taking the principles that Seth Godin covers in this book can literally transform your business. The book, like I said, talks about changing the life and transforming your business by being remarkable. And Seth describes that term remarkable, that adjective remarkable, as worthy of a remark. Worthy of a remark. So the title of the book comes from an experience that he had with his family driving down the road in the Plains states or wherever, and seeing some cows on the side of the road. Now, when you first encounter the cows, somebody, especially if you're in a vehicle with some children, is going to say, "Oh, look, the cows." And then everybody's going to look, and you're going to say, "Oh, that's a black one. Oh, that's a brown one. Oh, that's a black and white one, blah, 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 blah." But after a few minutes, that's going to get boring, because all the cows are going to start to look the same, right? Well, what if you're in that same car on that same road with those same people, and you spot a cow that is purple? Not only are you going to talk about it, you're probably going to stop, pull over on the side of the road, and take some pictures and then post those all over social media, right? A purple cow is something worthy of a remark. A purple cow gets you to stop. A purple cow you want to talk about. That's the flavor that we need to be working to incorporate and to infuse into our businesses. You have built your business in a way that looks exactly like your competitor or looks exactly like everybody else in your industry. You're boring. Let's just tell the truth. You're boring. And boring businesses do not get people to go out of their way to spend their money with you. Boring people do not make consumers stop, take a picture, and talk about it on social media. That you don't want to be boring. You want to be the purple cow. He talks in the book about most business owners, most businesses choose the path of least resistance when they're building their business, right? They try to avoid risk as much as possible. They try to play it safe. They try to be regular. Well, in this consumer-driven, tech-driven, loud, noisy world, when you are middle of the road, white bread, vanilla ice cream, and no offense to those of you that like vanilla ice cream, but when that's your business, people aren't going to go out of their way to look for you. They're not going to go out of their way to find you, to shop with you, to talk about you. They're not going to do that. So to choose the path of least resistance, to choose to avoid risk is actually risky. The risk takers are the ones that get talked about. The risk takers are the ones that people seek out. They go find. They get on the interwebs and they go searching for them. They're not searching for the white bread. They're not. They're not searching for the vanilla ice cream. They're not. They're not searching for the black coffee. They're searching for the unicorn frappuccino. Nobody's looking for the regular stuff. So we as business owners, brand owners, entrepreneurs, we need to figure out how to incorporate, how to add that layer of remarkability, which in some industries is risky. That could be a risk chasing a risk. But we've got to do it if we want to be remarkable. We've got to do it if we want to get people to come seek us out, right? So let's talk. I want to read a section from the book about what the risk taker. And I understand that a lot of people avoid risk because they don't want to be the one that's out in front, right? That we don't want to be the one that everybody looks to. We don't necessarily want to be the leader because the leader gets beat up all the time. The leader, everybody points at and looks at and talks about. I want to read something to you about following the leader. In the book, he says, why do birds fly in formation? Because the birds that follow the leader have an easier flight. That's what we want. We don't want to be the leader. We want to follow somebody else because we can learn from their mistakes, right? We want our path to be smooth. We want somebody else to break the wind for us so that we can just coast. The leader, and I just said this, the leader breaks the wind resistance and the following birds can fly far more efficiently. A lot of risk-averse business people believe that they can follow a similar strategy. We do. We do believe this. They think that they can wait until a leader demonstrates a breakthrough idea and then rush to copy it, enjoying the break in the wind resistance from the leader. That's what we do. That's what we do. We wait till somebody else assumes the risk. They break the resistance, and then we go and just imitate what they do. But understand this, you guys. This is why this is a flawed business practice. The ability to lead is so important because what are you going to do if you are the bird that's flying in the flock behind the leader? What happens when your flock fades away and you are left by yourself and you have nobody to follow? What are you going to do? We have to cultivate that leadership in our own businesses, and that comes with risk. Sometimes we're going to have to be the one to take up our sword and lead the charge, even if that's in our own little solar system, our own little industry, our own little area. We can't always sit back and wait for somebody else to do the hard work and then we just copy them. Because the day is going to come when the flock is going to be gone and you are going to be the last one standing. And if you have only been a follower, you won't even know how to lead yourself. The reason that I love this book so much is because it gives you examples of what other people do, but it does not say you must do it this way. And that is remarkable in and of itself, because we tend to listen to people that say, oh, these are the steps that I took. If you follow these exact steps, you will have the same results. But understand, when you are trying to build a remarkable business, what's remarkable for you and for your industry isn't going to be the same for me and my industry. That is a decision that we have to make for ourselves, for our own businesses. We've got to think about what is the thing that just isn't done in your industry. The stuff that if you were going to tell your peer, oh, I'm thinking about doing this, they're going to say, what? Why would you do that? That's the thing to do. If you go and you tell a cohort, a peer of yours, of something that you're thinking about doing to be remarkable, to add that purple cow swag to your business, and they try to talk you out of it, that's the thing to do. I'm just saying. So instead of running from being the leader, we've got to assume the risk. Take on a little bit of that risk. Give up a little bit of something to be remarkable and see what that gets you. Back in the day, when you were in business, as long as you could market, as long as you were a good marketer, you would be successful, right? All you had to do was be able to know how to sell. That's all you had to do. Well, nowadays, because the market is so crowded, because it's so noisy, because consumers are bombarded with messages and things like that all the time, you can't just be a good marketer. You also have to have some design ability about you. You also have to be inventive. You have to be creative. You can't just sell, because the people that just sell don't win. The people that just sell get ignored. If you are a marketer who doesn't know how to invent, design, influence, adapt, and ultimately discard products when they're not working, then you're no longer a marketer. You are dead wood. Because consumers today ignore sales messages. What they pay attention to is remarkable stuff. Your product is the same as your competitor, fundamentally. But what can you do? What can you add to that product that only you can do that's going to make consumers choose you over your competition? What is that extra level of remarkability that you can add to the product that's going to make people seek you out?